The time in the tent. 70 in here, 302, been out here a couple hours. Monday through Friday, April 4th, 44 outside. It is snowing. If it ain't snowing this week, it's raining. And it is what it is. I don't know if you remember the seat. I'll show you the seat. The seat is something that I didn't like. I liked, but it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to over the years. I didn't like how it puckered. This is leather and real snakeskin. I don't like how it puckered. That isn't what I wanted. So, and I didn't even ride the bike, so it's not from riding. So anyway, that's what I plan on doing today. I went back and recut this down below this lip because I thought it was too high. I think this is how the side cover is gonna be. Everything is, you know, roughed in. I think where that line is gonna curve, I'm not sure. It wasn't really easy. I didn't know what to do because the frame goes, you know, this way, then comes in, then goes out, and comes like that. And before I had it just concaved, and I did. So now what it's doing, we'll find out once I mud it. It curves, and then it curves in, and it curves out, then it curves around. I don't know if that picks up. It's not the best work I've ever done, but it's gonna stay this time. I'm not an English wheel master, never claimed to be. That was the first time I ever used it. I tried to do it in two pieces and I really couldn't, to be honest. I had to splice it right here. I wanted this right here for some reason. And when it started curving, you had the same option where, you know, the frame doesn't come curved like that. So had to do something. So you won't be able to see it. Well, you might be able to pick it up where it's concaved, then it flows out, then it goes around. Am I saying it's beautiful? No, I'm saying it's a start. I'm saying if you actually look at enough custom builds, bikes or cars or whatever, you would be surprised how much mud and fiberglass is in them. Am I trying to keep it to a minimum? Yeah, I am trying to keep it to a minimum. I'm trying to put as much metal in it as I can, not because I'm the metal man, it's because I know if I would have just put a bunch of fucking fiberglass over this, that fiberglass and metal is going to expand and contract at different times and you're going to have a chance to break. Yeah. So I roughed this in. This is commercial brake. It is 10 gauge. Is that a little overkill? Yeah, it is. But like I said, I've never done it before. I like it where I see on bikes where it's molded in. And I don't know why, in my mind, I wanted this to be as strong as possible for two reasons. I don't want this to ever bend, and if I had too thin a metal, and once I put fiberglass or Bondo or whatever, well, I will not fill that up with Bondo. But anyway, let's move on. I did not want this to ever give, ever. Because if it gave, anything that was laying on top of it, any kind of material, it's going to crack. So I made it as thick as possible. And I wanted to sturdy this fender back up. Because actually, if you look at it, the only point that it's actually attached to was here. And the fender wrapped all the way around here. And then this helped once I weld this all up in here. I didn't want this fender to flex. And it was flexing a lot when I had cut that out. You could just imagine going down the road and have this point flexing to the tire and the tire spinning and hello. But anyway, so now what I gotta decide is, I know it's a little high. Well, it's a lot high. But I'm gonna take all this foam off because this foam isn't thick enough. Because to tell you the truth, before I had this here and before I had this here, this bike was made for a 6'5" man, and I'm 5'10". So the forward controls are 3 inches farther forward. And I don't want to re-drill holes just because, so I'm gonna leave it. Anyway, when my thighs used to rub right here, even though it was round, it would fucking cut. It would just irritate it. So, what's my point? I don't know. The point is I gotta cut this down quite a bit, and I gotta add foam here, and I can't just add foam here because you see the gaps and it's already rounded right here. So I gotta cut this down. In the meanwhile, so I can't use that foam, I do have 2 other seats that I got given to me. Well, I didn't get given to me. The man owed me money, and you know, he wouldn't cough up my money, and you know, so you know them situations where you do somebody right and you lend them money because they need it and you think you'll get it back, and 2 years later you never get it back, so you get what you can get, basically. So this is one seat and here's another seat. What do they fit? I don't know. I'll probably use this seat because I think the foam is tall enough. And I really wanted to use that, but things just always don't work out. I do got a lot of time into this, but you got to realize, can you live with that pucker? I can't. That isn't what I want. That is, I don't know what I did wrong, but I did wrong. So what I'm going to do now is, and maybe this won't turn out either, who knows? I got it hanging in the back because it's going to be some time before I get to it. I've learned when you mess with cloth, you really need to let it hang. Otherwise, it's really hard to get the wrinkles out. Isn't it slow, SRT? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, bruh. I couldn't find it in town because this is a one-horse town. And I'm not displeased with this. This is really what I wanted. I wanted a crushed velvet. And what they have in town is spandex and it stretches. That isn't what I wanted. I wanted the old, excuse my language, and I mean no offense, but it's kind of Mexicano, okay? They put it in their cars. But then again, if you look at any 70s choppers, a lot of them have velvet seats, and I've always liked it. Will it wear well? Probably not. But I've always liked it. I did not think that this was going to take all this time. I'm here to tell you true. You know, don't feel sorry for me because there ain't no reason. It's going to get caught up to everybody. Anybody that's in their 50s, most people in their 50s, I would assume that's done hard labor. And I'm not saying people don't do hard labor, but I'm just saying if you worked at a factory or if you were physical, I don't know what age, but you know, lately, last month or so, it used to be like if I see something on the floor, I just bend down, pick it up. No, it ain't like that no more. Now it's subconsciously, I'm orchestrating my moves so my knee doesn't give out or my back don't hurt to pick up something simple. That's why I'm saying this might be one of my last major builds. Like Gibson doing that truck, I gotta give him credit, man. I mean, got a full-time job. That red truck came out fucking kick ass. Big builds are not, fuck, man. For me, I don't know how many more I got in me because I like to see results fast. Not that I'm not impatient, I just like to see results fast. And when you see like the chop or something or a car in a stage for so long, you will tell yourself that you're not fucking doing nothing, even though you come out here 5 days a week and do shit. And you know that you're actually doing something. It's like anybody that's done a car restoration, you gotta get over 75% of the hump. Once you get over the hump and you start molding and sanding and you get in primer, then it starts looking like something. But if you're gonna do a lot of metal fabrication and tried to do it right, quote unquote. I mean, if you're just gonna fucking pop rivet a panel over a car and yeah, you got fast results. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with that. Fuck it. I'm not. But I just know it doesn't last. You know, if you want me do a flipper car, fuck yes. You know, like red spot putty with no hardener. Fuck that. That shit will bubble back quicker than fucking whodunit, not even in a season. It will bubble. And I used to use my share of that shit, and I don't want that fucker shit in my garage anymore. I seen a car, shit, I must have did it about, I don't know, fuck. I don't know how long ago, but, you know, you get to the last few scratches and you're like, fuck it, I'm not putting no icing in, I'm just gonna put some red, the stuff, no hardener stuff in it, put it on and it fills and it sands easy, and son of a bitch, you go to Walmart or whatever, what had happened, and you know, anybody that does a car, you just remember it, because you spend enough fucking time on it. And I seen a car, I didn't know, it was a fucking Cadillac STS, it was a silver one that I did two of them back to back. I went up and looked at the hood, and I know where the bodywork is. I wanted to see if it came back. It didn't come back, except for the red spot putty. It just fucking bubbled. It's like, you know? Red spot putty's evil. That's some easy sanding shit, but it's not the fucking answer. You know, I'm not here to preach, but if you don't put the time in, this shit will not last. And nothing's gonna last forever, but you can make it last longer. You know, am I gonna, would it hold? I don't know. I'm not Joe Bodyman of the fucking world, to tell you the truth. For example, to fill that right there, can I put all metal in? I got that. You know, all metal Bondo. I can put tiger hair in there, Marglass. What will I end up probably doing? Because I don't want to ever go back and do this bike again, ever. Because if there's one bubble in this bike when it's done, even years from now, I'll be pissed. So what I'll probably end up doing once I cut all this down, I'll probably cut metal and weld it in there so I have minimal filler. Not because I'm pro body man. It's just I've known, I've learned that two different kinds, you got metal, fiberglass, and all metal Bondo and regular Bondo. It expands and contracts in fiberglass at a different rate. I didn't know this. I learned this from James Freddy, and he's damn right. That shit, the sun will heat that stuff up, and it will make it do things. It's not gonna be like that for long.